All right, guys, let's get started with Smart Universal Expert Advisor and the Smart Trend Trading System, and we're going to try to connect the Smart Trend Trading System and the Smart Trend to the Smart Universal Expert Advisor, and turn these entries and these arrows that you can see here on the chart into automatic entries that the Smart Universal Expert Advisor that can take and can basically take advantage of and enter. So the first thing first that you need to understand, guys, here is because a lot of people actually struggle with this, and this is a chance to talk to you guys about this. This like needs a lot of practice. This does not come. It might feel frustrating at the beginning because it's really hard to get your mind around the whole thing. It might seem like it's a complicated thing, but the moment you start tasting with the time and test and practice, practice makes perfection, and you have to practice on a daily basis, basically until you get used to everything and everything becomes basically very, very easy and very straightforward. Now, without further ado, guys, let's get into the good stuff here. So the two things that you need to know to get started is how to get this window here, which is called the strategy tester, and the strategy tester can be found under view. So what you're going to do is click on view, and you will find it here, and click on the strategy tester. You will bring this up. When you bring this up, you click on single. You have to make sure that you are clicking on the single and not any of these other choices here. So when you click on single, you can choose whatever indicator, whatever expert advisor that you want to test. And in this case, you will have the Smart Universal Expert Advisor under the market, and you select it under the market, as you can see, guys, here. So when you select that, you choose the environment. I always choose the euro dollar just for testing. You can choose the time frame here. You can choose the period. Just try the last year. This is for the sake of test. Just like in a way that it's going to basically show you that everything is working as it's supposed to be in real life. And this is your platform, guys. This is where you need to be at all time. This is where you have to do your tests and everything. So what you're going to do is you're going to choose either choice of here. If you are doing like the test that you're going to do before before using the real accounts, I always advise to use this every tech based on real text. But if you are just using the test to get used to the buffers and everything, you might use this 1 minute open, high, low, and close. That's fine. But for the real test, choose this either the first one or the second one. So I'm going to go with that for now. And you specify the deposit money. This is like, let's say, for example, this is how much we have, and this is the leverage 1 to 100, and make sure that you have this one text, because if you don't have the visual mode, you cannot see exactly what's going on in the chart, right? So you click on that one, and then you go in here and the inputs, and you're going to see all the inputs of the Smart Universal Expert Advisor. This is the test, like this test setup. This is like not the real setup. This is the test setup where you're going to get used to how to use the entire thing. So I talked about the inputs in the previous videos, so you make sure to watch that video completely before you get in here. So now, that's the first thing. The second thing that we need to know is we need to know what kind of buffers, because as I said, if you watch the previous video to understand what I'm talking about. So we need the buffers, and we need the name of the indicator. So if you click on this indicator to use, you're going to see that we have the native indicator, which is the trend breakout capture, and you have the custom indicator. So to use the Smart Trend Trading System, we're going to use the custom indicator, right? Here in the name, this is very, very, very important, because I cannot emphasize on the importance of this. So the three cases are really simple, and you have to just focus on this point because it's very important. And a lot of people get stuck in here because they don't know how to insert the right path for the Smart Universal Expert Advisor to connect and actually talk to the indicator. Because if the path file is wrong, it's not going to be able to talk to the indicator. For example, I have here market. And market is a folder inside. If you go to the folders in here, you click on file, and you go to open data folder, and you click on the indicators file, you will find that inside of the indicators there is a folder that's called market. So it's a folder inside of the folder of this the indicators. And what's going to happen is that if you write just the name of the indicator in here, the Smart Universal Expert Advisor cannot talk to it because it does not have access to the folder, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to type market as it is in there, right? Like don't change anything, don't add an S or anything like that. It has to be exactly how it's right here. And this goes for any folder inside of the indicators folder. So when you go to the indicators folder, there are going to be a lot of folders there. If the indicator inside of any of those folders, what you're going to do is you're going to have to write that name of that folder, whatever XYZ. It has to be the same thing. Now, the second mistake that a lot of people are doing is that they're using this, and this would not do the job because it's not part of the file path. But instead, you have to use the other one, which is this one. It's very important. They look alike, but they're really important. So think about this one as inclined towards the top is inclined towards the left. That's the one you want to use in not this one, right? I cannot emphasize enough on these things because these things are very frustrating. Imagine you're using this one and you think that everything is set up properly, but when you go to the test, it does not work. And you'll be texting me, you'll be sending messages, or probably leaving bad reviews just because you did not watch the online course. And this is very important. You have to watch the online course because that's where I have all the explanations. And if you want to use the Smart Universal Expert Advisor without coding knowledge, this is how you do it. You're going to have to be patient and learn these things. So you use this one and you use the right name exactly as it is written here. So it's smart with capital S. It has to be capital S, right? It's Smart Trend Trading System, right? No, it's not right. First of all, the system is wrong, and then there is an MT5 here, so you have to fix that. As I said, I make this, I make mistakes like this because I want you to learn, right? So you have markets, you have the Smart Trend Trading System, everything is written correctly and everything. Now the only thing that you have to do is you have to know what kind of arrows you want to work with, right? So to know what kind of arrows you want to work with, I'm going to show you something very interesting. Now we have the name, we have the custom indicator, we have the name, right? What we're going to do right now is we're going to go to the view here, and I'm going to click on data window. The data window is going to open here, and this is where I'm going to get my buffers. So I have three types of buffers here in this indicator. I have this arrow here, which is the trend breakout catcher, and I have this arrow right here, which is the cloud, the smart cloud. You can use that as well as an entry with the Smart Universal Expert Advisor. And I have another arrow, which is this one here, which comes with the smart trading stop, which is this green band right here. So you have 1, 2, and 3 types of entry that you can use with the Smart Universal Expert Advisor in terms of connecting the smart trend. Now I'm going to start with the trend breakout catcher, and if you scroll up here, you're going to see breakout catcher, and if you hover over it, you're going to see that buy is 8 and sell is 9. So I'm going to go to buy, put it's already populated, and 9 for sell, for buffer down. Now buffer up is buy, buffer down is sell, right? It's like it makes sense. Don't change this one here, single bar. If you change it to 0, it's going to work on the current bar, but we don't work on the current bar because the indicators are non-repeating, and that's based on the close of the bar basically. So you're going to have to leave that as at 1. Now everything is set up in a way that basically, let me remove this. So basically, everything is set up as far as the indicator to be connected to basically the Smart Universal Expert Advisor. Now we can talk to each other. There is a channel of communication, right? The Expert Advisor can ask or can read whenever the Smart Trend Trading System detects an entry and plots an arrow. The Smart Universal Expert Advisor can catch that arrow, and based on that arrow, now you can choose whatever conditions you want to apply to those trades. So you go into the setting. And I explained this before, guys, in details. And I told you guys that I have 2 ways of using the Smart Universal Expert Advisor. It's either manual simulation, or you can use it as like expert advisor strategies. And I have added all the expert advisor strategies that are in the market right now. Like you could go to the market and like you could shop around and everything. All those, most like 90% of the expert advisors in the market have or are using the same techniques that are using here in some way of combination. So what I'm giving you here is so powerful. You can do these things yourself. You can combine the whole thing in any way you want. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to turn off the loss recovery, which basically I'm going to use the manual simulation. So I will turn on this stop loss, and I will turn on the take profit as well. And I put the stop loss. I put the stop loss at 50 pips, for example, and I put the take profit at 25, which is half that, right? 25 pips. And these multiplications, I explained this in the previous videos, so we wouldn't have any problem with these things. The second thing is the EA comments. That's a new update that I added. So you can add, for example, you're connecting the Smart Trend Trading System SSTS to the Smart Universal Expert Advisor. So to differentiate between, for example, the Atomic Analyst and the Smart Trend Trading System, you can add a comment, and every trade is going to be coming with a comment that which expert advisor or which indicator is used to open that trade, basically. So all that is rest to do now is basically to click start, and by clicking start, what's going to happen is that this window is going to open, and you can kind of see whenever the new trade is like this one here. We got a signal, right, and it opened it, and we got another signal here and it opened it. This is based on this the smart the breakout catcher, or the trend breakout catcher. So whenever we get an arrow, you kind of see that we get a trade. Let me pause this so I can explain properly. So for example here, all right, it did not pause anyway. So we're gonna wait for another trade, and I'll explain to you guys what is going on exactly here. So basically, whenever there is an arrow, it's gonna take its time, and then unless there is an arrow based on the trend trend breakout catcher, there will be no trade unless if there is an arrow, right? So, and this is the main thing that you want to understand, guys. Unless if there is an arrow, the arrow is gonna come with a buffer. The buffer is gonna be read. The buffer is going to be read by the expert advisor. And as you can see, guys, here I got an arrow, a sell arrow, and I told you guys I put the stop loss at 500 points, and that's 500 points, and I put the take profit at half of that in multiples. And if I go back to the inputs, let's go back to the inputs, because a lot of people are actually having troubles with these things, and it's rather very simple and straightforward. And if you get used to it, you will be in a better place. So the stop loss is 500 points, which is 50 pips basically, and the take profit is in multiples of stop loss. So if I put 0.1, that means that's half of this, and that's why I basically have the take profit here as 250 and the stop loss at 500. And the indicator is going to keep on working on these things. Now the new updates, if you notice, guys, this is the filter off, right? This is the filter off, and that's why we took this trade right here, and we took this trade right here, even though they are against the trend. With the new filter, what I did is I added the filter so that the Smart Universal Expert Advisor can read the filter and can actually filter out the trades that are against the trends. And instead, it's going to only take this one, and it's going to take this one, and it's going to take this one, and it's going to take this one. It wouldn't take like the sell trades because they are not appearing, and they're removed basically. They're noise, and they have been removed completely from the code. And with that being said, what's going to happen is if you use the filter on, the Smart Universal Expert Advisor are going to be much better, and it's going to catch trades that are cleaner instead of taking basically trades. Taking trades like this one here was not necessary, because this trade, for example, is going to be completely removed. Now, this is how you guys can do the test. This is how you add the Smart Universal Expert Advisor or the Smart Trend Trading System to the Smart Universal Expert Advisor. Now, this is one way. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is this possible to add the other indicators, and I'll show you something interesting also, which is we're going to try. Let's try now. What we're going to try is the other thing I talked to you about, guys. It's when the indicator is inside of a file, right? If the indicator is inside of the file, or it's not inside of a file of an indicator, or it's inside of the file of the indicator, not in the market. So what you're going to do, for example, here, I have a file that is called Smart Trend Trading System. So Smart Trend Trading System. And inside of that file, I have another file that is called Smart Trend Trading System. So this is another thing that you can do, because I do have the smart trend trading system inside of a file that is called smart trend trading system. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to use the buffers for the other entries. And that's what we're going to do right now. I'm doing this slowly so you guys can get the hang of it. So I'm going to go to the data window, and I'm going to look for example, the let's say I'm going to use the smart cloud, right? So it's 35 and 36. So the buy is 35 and 36. So I'm going to go here and type 35 for the buy and 36 for the sell. 36, right? So as I said, guys, what I'm doing right now is I'm telling the Smart Universal Expert Advisor to look for a folder called Smart Trend Trading System, which is this one right here, inside of the folders of the indicators, and look for the Smart Trend Trading System, which is this one here, inside of that folder, and read the buffers that's going to be provided when attached to the chart. But instead of using the trend breakout catcher, I'm using this Smart Cloud as my entry, which is this hollow arrow right here, the green hollow arrow, and the red hollow arrow here for the cells, which is 35 and 36. And just like that, using this manual simulation that we had before, I'm just going to click on the start. But before I click on the start, I'm going to go to the settings and make sure that this visual mode is on, right? And it's on. And what I got to do is go back to the inputs and click on the start. And you have to be patient, guys. You have to like take your time with this, because this is just the learning process. And then the next phase is basically the tests, and the tests are more like energy demanding. You're going to have to like do a lot of efforts before you kind of see any progress in terms of like learning how to use these things. So I'm going to wait for this red right here, this arrow, the red arrow or the green arrow right here to appear, which might take some time. So I'll pause the video and until it's shown, and I'll start again the video, guys. All right, so as you can see, guys, here we got an arrow, and there you go. We got like a quick trade here that opened and closed really quickly, so we did not get the chance to see that one, unfortunately. But with that being said, we're going to wait for another trade that I might have the chance to pose, basically, because this is a long trend. It's not like the trend breakout catcher, which gives you like multiple entries. It's rather more like one trade in this entire part here, and one trade in this entire part. It's like more like a bigger trend catcher here. So we might get another entry here, hopefully, and this might clear the doubts in regards to this indicator right here, because I want to make sure, guys, to show you that everything works as per the Smart Universal Expert Advisor. And there you go, guys. See this arrow here? That's the arrow that the Smart Cloud provides. And then whenever it's provided at the close, this is the difference between repainting and non-repainting. Even though the arrow might be shown and removed, the Smart Universal Expert Advisor is based on the close only. And that's why it's non-repainting, because unless if it's not based on that way, it's going to open a lot of trades and you're going to be losing money for nothing. But the Smart Universal Expert Advisor makes sure that the arrow or the signal is solid before it opens the trade. And now, with that being said, the moment the arrow showed on the chart, the Smart Universal Expert Advisor is going to wait for the close to make sure that the arrow is true, and then open the trade right here, and then set the take profit, the stop loss at 500, and take profit at whatever level you want. You can do 100 pips, which is 1,000 points, for example. It's up to you. Like the trade management is up to you, but this is how basically the whole thing works. And as you can see, guys, this is how it works. This is basically how it works. In the same way that this one opened right here, and you kind of see the difference between these arrows here. That's like the historical calculation of the Smart Trend Trading System. But when the execution of the trend happens, is red and blue. You see the colors, it's red and blue, and also it tells you how much the lot size is 0.001 and how much lot size is closed right here. So with that being said, the same thing is going to happen whenever you get this is a buy and this is a sell, and it's going to happen on and on and on again and on again as far as the chart goes and as far as the whole thing goes. Now the good thing about this is that you can use the backtesting data to test whether these things are actually working or not. Based on these things, you will decide, do I need to tweak the settings? Do I need to add something? Do I need to remove something? And this is up to you guys. I don't have like the holy grail settings. This is a tool that you can use, and the key here is in the tests. The key is not in somebody's giving you like the best preset in the world. The key is in tests. The key is in you choosing like a specific pair, for example, when you start tasting and testing and testing and testing until you find something really interesting. Now the third part, which is the last part, guys, here is to use the the smart trading stop in the same exact way. Now I showed you the different types of way of doing things, and this time I wanted to what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this file, the X file, and put it inside of the indicators. So that's to do that, I'm going to post the video, because this is the third type of like indicator name or path filing or file path of the indicator. And I wanted to show specifically everything step by step, even though this video is getting longer, but I have to do it and I should do it. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to post the video, copy this one, and put it inside of the folders, not inside of the folder of the indicators, just inside of the indicators folder itself, and not inside of a folder inside of the indicators folder. And I will add the name here, and then we're going to try the third way of entry, which is based on this indicator right here, this arrow right here. All right, now what I did, guys, is I copied this, right? And you kind of see that this line right here is the line of the indicators. This line right here, the line of the MQL5 file, the entire thing that has like the expert advisors, the indicators, and everything, that's that line. Inside of the indicators, this is this line. Inside of a folder inside of the indicator, this is this line. So this file right here is inside of the indicators file, and that's why I don't need this type of naming here. And what I'm going to do instead is basically remove and I have to stop the test before I can change anything in here. So what I can do is remove this one here and just keep the name as it is. Whatever that indicator, it could be any kind of indicator, any kind of naming. It could be like whatever name that indicator has. So it has to be the same in here. And the other thing that I need is I need the buffers. And this is, guys, I don't have to remember the buffers. A lot of people are actually like asking me what's the buffers of this, what's the buffer of that. And another way to know the buffer is if you hover over any arrow, for example, especially this one here, you kind of see like in between brackets it says 15, right? And this one in between bracket might say 16. It says 16, but the best way to do it to make sure you're doing it right is the same way I showed you, is go to the data window and you locate the name of the indicator, which is trailing. That's like the smart trailing stop, and it's 15 and 16. Now remember 15 and 16, and you go here, you change to 15 and 16. As I said, guys, don't change this one, and you have to have the name of the indicator right. So we got those right. All we got to do is using the same thing, that like the same settings. We're going to use the manual simulation and click on start. And this time, what's going to happen, you guessed it, it's going to start looking for traits based on, let me stop that. It's going to look, and by the way, you can change the grids by clicking on Control G for golf, and you can remove the grid. It looks much better and comfortable on the eyes. So I'm going to wait for an entry like this here to appear, so that, again, to make sure, guys, that make sure that everything is set up in the right way and everything is working for you before I end up this video. In the next video, we're going to talk about the Atomic Analyst. The Atomic Analyst has one arrow, one buffer for sell and one buffer for buy, so it should be easy and straightforward. I'm working actually on adding buffers for stop loss and take profit on the Atomic Analyst, so that's something you wanted to add as well into your professional smart trading setup. If you already have, as you can see, guys, here, we got an entry, and at the close of the candle right here, on this arrow, that's where we got the entry for the smart trading stop with the same conditions, stop loss at 500 and take profit at 250. As I said, you got the basically, you got the smart trend trading system that you can use with the Smart Universal Expert Advisor, but you can also use the Atomic Analyst as your expert advisor using the Smart Universal Expert Advisor. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in the next video. So in the same way, guys, that we got an entry here based on this arrow, we're going to get a sell entry basically when the price reverses, and there you go, we got it right there. We got the arrow, and at the close of the candle at which the arrow appears, we got an entry here. And as simple as that, it's going to keep like taking trades. In the same way, it would have taken this one, and if you put your stop loss right here and take profit below here, that's going to be like 1, 2, 3 risk to reward ratio, and you can kind of test and play with these things until you find like a profitable edge. With that being said, guys, this is how you can add the smart trend trading system with the new update, with the new filters. The new filter is included also into the Smart Universal Expert Advisor, and it's connected in like an ecosystem. Everything is communicating with everything almost. And on the next video, as I said, Atomic Analyst, the video after that, we're going to talk about the Megatrend Scanner and how to use them as well in the same way. And that's why you guys have to make sure that instead of, like, you have to be smart, guys. You have to be really smart. Instead of going out there and buying one expert advisor, you can buy the Smart Universal Expert Advisor instead, and you get access to many, like millions of indicators, and you can turn each one of those millions of indicators into your own smart expert advisor. And I mean it's smart expert advisor because I know exactly what I'm doing and I know exactly what I'm talking about. And unless if you're like open-minded to the idea and you like want to learn things the right way, this is where you're going to get everything the right way. Guys, don't waste your time, waste your money, waste your energy for nothing. I mean, I'm talking from experience, and I just talk about this whole thing with complete honesty, and I'm really here to help you guys with everything you need. So if you have any questions, if you have any doubts, if you have anything that does not work the proper way, make sure to watch the videos. After the videos, come to me, and I'll be really happy to help you guys. With that being said, guys, see you in the next video.